So, you all know I hate Sasuke. I hate him with a passion. He's pure garbage, that's just my subjective opinion, unlike with Sakura where she's objectively trash. My opinions are still facts though, but you know, I'm not looking for trouble. But today I'll be talking about why Hebi Sasuke is much stronger than you think. I said that so you know I'm not being biased when I say Hebi Sasuke is way too underrated for me to not talk about him. People often don't think of him because he's seen as the weakest Sasuke in Shippuden, and that's just because he was, again, only seen early on in the series without looking at how many advantages he has over other versions of Sasuke. To a lot of people, Hebi Sasuke is the one that came after absorbing Orochimaru, but for me, he's early Shippuden Sasuke up until he awakens his Mangekyo. But that's just me, you know, a former Naruto arena player. So from the beginning, we see that Hebi Sasuke was manhandling the likes of the new Team 7 led by Yamato. Granted, Naruto and Sakura are fodder and Yamato took a hit cause Sakura was useless. Shocker. Sai, on the other hand, is an incredibly skilled ninja entrusted by Danzo to eliminate Sasuke, and he's an emotionless tool, yet he was frightened of Sasuke just by looking into his eyes. We don't know what kind of genjutsu that was, but it was a great feat. Now I know Sai wasn't really on guard or anything, but again, Sai was genuinely frightened of Sasuke, whom Orochimaru describes as more difficult than I am.
Now that could mean a lot of things, but it certainly means Sasuke isn't the type to let his guard down, unlike Orochimaru who does it time and time again without learning because he thinks he's immortal, which he kinda is. As for Yamato, I've made this clear before, I don't think Sasuke is stronger than him, but I do believe he'd be a difficult opponent for him to handle. That's still a great feat for someone going up against someone on par with Kakashi. Flash forward, Sasuke defeating what seems to be hundreds of Chunin with no scratch or drop of blood on him, without even killing them, and by Orochimaru's implication, it's cause Sasuke showed them mercy. To which Sasuke replies, "I'll be merciless enough when I see him," referring to Itachi. So he wasn't even going with killer intent. Okay, fine, Chunin are trash, they exist to be beaten by random villains. But then Sasuke takes Orochimaru down with very little effort, and looking down on him the whole time, he wasn't even trying. He did admit that he managed to do it because Orochimaru was half dead, but that would still leave us with the possibility of Sasuke in that stage being relative to base Orochimaru, who's relative to base Jiraiya, who I'm sure all of you can tell by now is OP. Not to mention it was revealed then that Sasuke was training behind Orochimaru's back to develop Chidori's spear and likely the other forms of Chidori. After he beats Orochimaru, he also absorbs him, gaining the ability of the White Snake to recover much faster, and with that ability he has shown many snake-based abilities like the one that suppressed a half-berserk Jugo and Suigetsu with Zabuza's sword, which he claims he can kill Sasuke or Jugo if he has it with. Sorry, did I say suppressed? I meant completely put them in their place. During his fight with Deidara, he summons a white snake, which I assume is something he could do with the white snake he received from Orochimaru, and it withstood 2 C2s from Deidara without completely disappearing, and Sasuke was left unharmed. And honestly, this is one of my favorite fights because of how strategic both ends were, but Sasuke was the perfect counter to Deidara with the Sharingan and lightning to counter his clay, which is earth-based. To me, this Sasuke seemed smarter than any version of Sasuke that was unreasonable, just jumping in to fight. Although Sasuke showed some impressive intelligence feats after getting the Rinnegan, but since Rinnegan is OP on its own, they weren't as impressive as Hebi Sasuke's versus Deidara. And Hebi Sasuke is especially smarter than 5 Kage Summit Sasuke, that's an indisputable fact. Now I'm not a fan of this fight's ending, but it certainly qualifies as one of my favorite fights in the series. Skip till the fight with Itachi. Sasuke in this fight, while being walked like a dog, still did some pretty impressive stuff. First being able with a base Sharingan to match a Mangekyo's skill to break out of one of the most powerful genjutsu in the series, meaning Sasuke's base Sharingan is as powerful as a Mangekyo on its own in terms of genjutsu resistance. And in his second stage curse mark taking over half of his body, he was able to resist Itachi's fireball. While it did damage him, that's something the version 1 Biju cloak could do. And because of Orochimaru's white snake ability, Sasuke is able to shed his skin to completely escape fire like a snake. Not sure how that fares against the other natures, but he's basically got a solid defense against fire and could be immune to it. He then proceeds to fire 3 dragon flames to heat up the air and create lightning. This is where I disagree with most people. This Kirin was only created that large because Itachi's Amaterasu was active, which is as hot as the sun, meaning most of the heat was coming from it. This means under normal circumstances, Sasuke wouldn't be able to create a Kirin that large at least. And even if he could, he'd run out of chakra considering controlling that lightning still exhausted him anyway. As you can all tell, Sasuke with Orochimaru's powers has a massive physical advantage over MS and even EMS Sasuke as well. Of course, not ability wise, but physically. He just didn't have the time to develop more since he lost all that after fighting Itachi. And I heard this thing where people say during the 5 Kage summit Sasuke had 30 times more chakra than his second stage curse mark form, which is based on Karin's statement saying it's thicker than before. That's what she said, literally. Now let's ignore the fact that it's just inconsistent with the lore and focus on the word itself. We often see in Naruto chakra being described as things that can't normally be black and white. For example, chakra with intent to kill had been a thing since part 1. Karin also described Naruto's chakra as warm. What the hell does that even mean? We know chakra has quality or a feel to it, so Karin's statement was only referring to the feel of Sasuke's chakra at that time, not quantity. Otherwise, she would have just said something indicating it rather than this vaguely weak statement. This video turned out shorter than I expected, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If you did, like and subscribe, please, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.